Hello, hello. Good evening. Real quick before I continue, I just want to make sure audio is working. So if somebody in the chat can just let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking until I make sure that we are good to go. Hi, chat. Welcome everybody to the stream. All is good. Okay. Thank you, Lena. Today is Sunday, March 31st. Welcome everyone. Welcome to another live stream. I'm finally fasting. My name is Jerome, if you're not aware. Every Sunday, I like to have these live streams as a way to talk about my journey, my fasting journey, my weight loss journey, my health and happiness, health and wellness journey. But I also have this live stream so that people who are in chat or people who comment and watch this later can have some form of accountability on their journey. So if you are in chat, please feel free to share where you're at, how you're doing, how you're feeling, if you're doing well, and even if you aren't. If you're struggling, talk to somebody in chat, ask questions. That's what this place is for. I want people to remember that this is supposed to be a safe space. So please respect one another while you're in here. We're all here for the same reason. We're here to probably most likely lose weight, but we're here to also just support, encourage, motivate, and inspire other people to continue on their journey. Or if this is a new endeavor or a new journey for yourself, welcome. I mean, I think one of the great things is being able to come in here and kind of work together as a community to help uplift each other. With all of that being said, you know what I'm going to ask you, at least the people who probably come here pretty often. And not only am I going to ask you this, but I also created an emoji for anyone who is a Finally Fasting YouTube member. So if you are a YouTube member for Finally Fasting, I tried to create a don't wait till Monday emoji. Feel free to use it if it works. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but my question to you is, are you waiting till Monday? Today's Sunday, March 31st. It's Easter for people who celebrate Easter. But really, my question to you is, are you waiting till Monday? By that, I mean, did you just let this weekend pass you by? Maybe earlier in the week, you had hopes to be on your healthier journey. Or did you just kind of give up halfway and then decide, you know what? The weekend's here. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to do the same shit I've been doing week after week, month after month, and I'm just going to start on Monday. Because that's my next question to you, too. My next question to you, too, is when you say, I'm just going to start on Monday, is that the first time you've ever told yourself that? Or is this just a repeat of last week? Is it a repeat of last month? Because if you kind of think about it, today is that perfect storm day. It might not be a new year, but today might be one of those perfect storm days because today is Sunday. Today's also the last day of the month. Today is also a holiday for other people. And so tomorrow is a Monday. Tomorrow is a new month. A lot of people will use that as an excuse to not care about today. And it doesn't mean that you can't celebrate the holiday. It doesn't mean that you can't eat and enjoy yourself, but it should also not be a day where you just throw everything away and not care about whatever, whether it's today or on Saturday or Friday or in the midweek. Because imagine where you could have been if you started earlier. Imagine where you could have been if you've been following me since November and gone on this journey with me. It would have been different for both of us, but if you had built that consistency, if you had built that discipline and the determination to keep going, imagine where you'd be today instead of throwing away the day, throwing away the weekend, throwing away the last month, throwing away the last couple months, throwing away the new year. How many of you talked about 2024 is going to be my new year? 2024 is where everything's going to change. I'm going to lose all this weight. I'm going to be the healthiest ever. And then think about, oh, this is what I did last year too. This is what I did 2 years before. Just think about those things and remind yourself that life doesn't start on the first. Life doesn't start on a Monday. Life doesn't start after XYZ. Life is right now, and you really should take advantage of that. Prioritize your health. Make sure that your health and happiness comes first, because that's really what it's about, at least for me. I think about all the stresses. I think about all the things that kind of get in the way in my life. And then when I start to clutter my brain or muddy my brain with all of these thoughts and think about food as a way to escape, I always remind myself, a lot more lately than in the longest time I can remember, health and happy, healthy and happy. That's what I meant. Healthy and happy is the simplest way I can put for what I want out of my life, is to be healthy and happy. That's all I want. In its simplest, truest form, all I'm trying to do right now, all I'm looking for with everything I'm doing and the way I'm living my life, is to be happy and healthy, or healthy and happy. They're interchangeable. Not one comes over the other, but I do talk about health being first, or prioritizing health, but I think they go hand in hand. I think they go hand in hand, being happy and healthy. Let me scroll up here really quick. Val, starting it off with a $5 super chat. Hi, Val. Thank you so much for the support. Jerome, I'm going to fast 72 hours starting after midnight. Thank you for sharing your journey. Val, first of all, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you for supporting as always. But am I going to have to do an accountability thing with you, Val? You're going to start a fast, a 72-hour fast after midnight. So you are starting Monday. You are starting on the 1st. Are you going to check in with me on when would that be then? On a Wednesday? No. Thursday. Well, Thursday, probably when you wake up. Let me know how that 72 hours goes, because this is what I'm talking about. And like, I'm supportive of Val doing this, and I'm supportive of anyone who says, I'm going to start, I'm going to do this. But let's not turn it into this habit of, I'm going to say X, Y, and Z, not have a backup plan, only go halfway through it, and then you're gone for the next couple days, or you're gone for the week. And I'm not talking about Val here. I'm not picking Val out. I just want people to understand that one of the things that I am trying to change people's thinking or habits, or rewire their brain, as I've been saying a lot lately, is to stop thinking about starting over. And if you break, you break. Be mindful about your refeed, even if you're not as mindful because you're at a social event, because you're at a family party, because something unexpected happened. All I'm trying to say is live your life, live and do whatever is happening in that moment, but hit that timer again. Start fasting again. Start getting back on your health and happiness journey. Val, thank you for the $5 donation. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. At the same time, Untamed Chaos became a new YouTube member. Untamed Chaos, thank you so much for joining the Finally Fasting family. Yeah, let's call it that. Thank you for joining. I appreciate that. I only put one emoji on there, but I'll also add you into the shout outs at the intro of my videos. So thank you for joining. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Okay, so that is kind of where I'm at when I talk about not waiting until Monday, not letting the days go by, not letting the weeks go by, not waiting for your vacation to be over first. Because why can't you live your life? Why can't you still have, or at least have, a healthier mindset? And I'm not just talking about fasting, and I'm not just talking about eating healthy, but I'm talking about the other habits outside of fasting, outside of just eating a cleaner lifestyle. And it doesn't mean it has to be like this every day. But what I'm talking about is for people like me who let food control them, who let food be the determining factor on how the rest of your actions are performed. By that, I mean, if you're not eating the best, if you're not eating as healthy and as outlined as you intended it to be, then you throw everything else away. Whether it's your diet, whether it's your financial responsibilities, whether it's taking care of work in business, whether it's taking or being mindful or caring for the people that you love or you're friends with. That is what has been my detriment for so long, is that food controlled me so hard. Food controlled my life in such a big way that I let the rest of my life just I let it just be. I didn't care for it at all. I didn't take care of the other aspects of my life because I let food control how I acted for the day. If I didn't eat healthy, then that meant nothing else mattered. Who cares about how much money I spend? Who cares about the work that I have to do? Who cares about the friends I'm supposed to text back? Who cares about the family I was supposed to give a call to or go to a birthday party for, or whatever it might be? That's the kind of mindset I'm talking about. And that's the kind of mindset I'm still to this day trying to get to grips with. These are things that you will have to continue to learn to do as time goes on. And the longer you let that kind of activity continue, the longer you let that kind of habit or bad habit, I mean, let's be honest, those are bad habits. The longer you let that kind of shit to continue, it's just going to get worse and you're not going to be able to build upon it. You're not going to be able to learn from your mistakes. You're not going to be able to tell yourself, "Oh man, like this is happening again. Let me at least try to minimize how bad it's happening." Because it doesn't mean that once you figure it out, you never just figure it out completely either. But once you're able to get a better handle on it, it doesn't mean that it's smooth sailing forever. This is something that you're going to have to fight with and contend with and challenge yourself with every single day. So, whether it is a financial or business challenge, it's also in combination with the way you're dieting and the way you're taking care of yourself, the way you're exercising. They all kind of like mesh together. At least for me it does. Because again, food is my addiction. Food is my issue and it's something that I'm trying to tell myself I can't just use food as my excuse for everything. I can't just let other things slip in my life because food controls me in that type of way because I don't want to have that control me like that anymore. That's not how I want to live my life. And you shouldn't either. If you're if you're watching this and you're sitting here and you're realizing that for the first time or for the second time or for the umpteenth time, get a handle on what's happening. And it doesn't mean that doesn't mean that it's going to be a complete 180 and everything's going to change tomorrow. But it does mean that you can start taking steps to change those habits, to rewire your brain, to rethink about the things that are happening in your life. Just please keep that in mind for everyone who's watching this, who's listening to this, who might watch this a month, a year in the future. If food is controlling you in that type of way, with that much pull, with that much consequence, it might be time to just rethink about everything you're doing and just finding a better hold, a better control in your life. That's easier said than done. And that sounds like such a vague way of answering it, but I mean, I feel like that's what I've done at this point through fasting, because for me, that's the simplest way I can get a better handle in my life and what I'm doing and how I'm feeling. Today is day 147 of my fasting journey. 147 days of consistency. That's 21 weeks of accountability. That's 21 weeks of showing up. That's 5 months and 1 week of just consistently showing up, being here, sharing my journey. And it doesn't mean that everybody has to publicly share their journey, but I do this because for me to be able to continue to fast properly, to be accountable, to be honest with myself, is to be honest with the audience that I share my journey with. If you're not new to this channel, if you were here 147 days ago, that means you have been watching me from the very beginning when I gained all the weight back to me hitting goal weight and to me now being in a maintenance maintenance phase. I have such a hard time saying the word maintenance if I'm thinking about it too much. I reached my goal weight on day 138. It's 147 days in now. I believe this is day 10 of my maintenance phase. This is 10 days of me trying to keep the weight off. And I can't wait till I get to day 100 of keeping the weight off. There's been an influx of new subscribers and new followers on my Instagram. And as much support as I get, and as thankful as I am, there's a handful of haters too in the comments who some of them I've screenshotted because like I just don't deal with the negative stuff and I'm like whatever, but I know somebody's like, "Yep, I guess in 3 months, can't wait till you get the weight back on." And I just love seeing that because it's like, okay, let's see what it looks like in 3 months. And I'll share that screenshot and I'll show you that I can keep it off. And I think the plan that I'm working on right now, the motivation that I have, keeping my goals focused and in mind reminds me that I'm going to keep doing the damn thing. One of the things that I love being able to do right now is coach other people, because being able to coach others and help them along their way and reading the comments about how people have been able to achieve weight loss that they've never been able to achieve before, doing things like that reminds me of why I'm doing what I'm doing and why I need to continue to prioritize my health. So as an influx of other people keep coming in and again, most are supportive, but that small percentage of haters that are in there, please, that's fine. That's good, because for me it's fuel to the fire to keep going, to be more disciplined and keep continuing what I'm doing and show people that it can be done. Tony plus 65 with a 2 euro, right? €2 donation. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much, Tony. What's your favorite sin? Gluttony or vanity? That's actually, first of all, that's a very creative question and one that I haven't seen. My favorite, you mean one that like I would rather indulge in? Are you saying vanity because like I've been dressing different, or just like or maybe it's because I think about looks in that way, like hitting a certain weight? I mean, that's unfortunately a lot of how I grew up was based on vanity. I unfortunately I do think that's like a family thing. At least in my elders was always regarded as one of the top things. Um, my favorite sin though, I don't, that's a Such a weird question. Um, I don't know. I don't know because I feel like I don't know how to answer that. Like I don't right like I'm not performing gluttonous acts in that way anymore because I'm not binging the way I used to binge. Also, again, I for those that might be new, yes, I do suffer with an eating disorder. I do suffer with binge eating disorder. It's been something that I've struggled with for decades in my life. Um, I don't know what my favorite is. I think they kind of go both hand in hand too. So let's kind of just leave it at that. Tony, thank you for the €2 donation. I also don't know if it's just a sarcastic question, but thanks for the support. Thank you for the support. So again, at this point, um, yes, today's day 147. Took me 138 days to hit my goal weight. It took 142 days to actually hit my lowest weight of 137.8 pounds, which allowed me to lose 80 pounds total. And right now, my only goal is to stay in this weight, my maintenance range. I mean, I also have other goals, right? Is to still continue bettering myself. But another big goal of mine is to start adding more muscle on top of everything else that I'm doing. So, oh, I totally messed up there. I hit the wrong button. Um, Egyptian deity. I'm so sorry, guys. I need to. I don't know what I hit. I hit some button and it logged me out. So I'm back. I'm back. Egyptian deity with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Egyptian deity. Um, hi, hi, love. Not sure if you covered this, but how should nausea and stomach cramp be relieved? Um, so as far as nausea, I would okay, first of all, if you're new to this and you're just dealing with nausea, I know this is something that for a lot of people, it's going to take some time to maybe build up to. So if you're starting to feel nauseous and you're not able to just do your daily activities, I would really consider one, if you aren't working, to maybe take a break and maybe rest a little, have your fluids, but also check your electrolytes. If electrolytes are something that you need, sodium, potassium, magnesium, I use iodized salt for sodium. I use no salt for potassium. For magnesium, I use magnesium citrate pills, organic ones. But I no longer take electrolytes, just FYI for anyone who's wondering. I know this is a question that's asked quite a bit. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much the advice that I have. Sometimes that nauseousness is something that just is sometimes that nauseousness is just going to take time to get over, especially if you just continue fasting and fasting and fasting again. I'll say this to a lot of people. If you are feeling or experiencing symptoms that is affecting your work, affecting your daily life, affecting things in your life that you can't do, if you're super weak, if you can't do certain things, and I always am an advocate of saying if you're bedridden and you can't do anything, break your fast. Like don't push it that hard. That's my recommendation. Other people might recommend something different, but for me, I like to be able to fast and live my life properly. I like to be able to fast and still go for walks. I like to be able to fast and still go to the gym and lift weights. These are things that I enjoy doing while I'm fasted, even if I'm 45 hours fasted in, even if I'm 75 hours fasted in, even if I'm 100 plus hours fasted in, I still will be able to live my normal life. That's how I function. I don't like being able to, I don't like being in a state of not being able to function. So just kind of keep that in mind, Egyptian deity. The very first thing I do think about though is if you are experiencing nauseousness, take your fluids, take your electrolytes. And if it doesn't go away, if you're not able to ride it out, then I would consider breaking your fast. So hopefully that's helpful. But thank you again for the donation. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Okay. So where I'm at, I am actually currently, now that I'm 147 days in, and now that I'm in a maintenance phase, and I'm going to share this with you all in a little bit, but I'm no longer performing 90 plus hour fasts. I did talk about that in one of my more recent shorts or reels or TikToks, depending on which platform you use. But I am now just doing a maximum of 65-hour fasts. I'm not really doing anything more than that. 65-ish is what I'm doing, which is about a little more than a 2.5 day fast. And that might not last for long either. Currently, though, just for anyone who's wondering, I am 42 hours and 51 minutes into my current fast. So yes, even though I hit goal weight, even though I am at the weight I want to be right now, it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop fasting. Now, it does mean that I am going to be doing shorter fasts. And I know some of you might be looking at this and you're like, how is this you not really fasting anymore? But I'm going to get into that because one of the reasons that I still fast for a lengthier amount of time is because I'm trying to situate myself in my maintenance goal range. Right? Did I say that right? In my maintenance weight range, right? Like I'm trying to make sure that I sit myself in the high 130s, low 140s, which by the way, someone also did comment. I think I saw a couple comments where they're like, how did they say it? They're like, what man wants to be 139 pounds? And I'm like, this man does, right? This man right here who's only 5'3". I think a lot of people who find me maybe watch like 3 seconds of my video and then they're just quick to judge. And it's like, hey, I'm 5'3". I'm 1.6 meters tall. Like I'm not a tall guy, and actually 140 pounds is right within the range of where I need to be. So this guy does, just FYI. But the reason I'm doing the fasts at the length I'm doing them at right now is because I'm still trying to settle myself in the high 130s, low 140s, but I'm going to get into that in a little bit as well. Before I continue, Aaron with a 2-pound, right? A 2-pound super chat. Thank you for the 2-pound super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Thank you so much. How often did you weigh? Aaron, I weighed every single day. For today's day 147, I weighed myself 147 times. I weigh myself every single morning, first thing in the morning when I get up. I don't go to the bathroom first. I don't go work out first. I get up and I weigh myself. Well, sometimes I go to the bathroom. Like if I really have to pee, I'll pee. I think for the most part, I think I pee. But yes, otherwise I don't wait for anything. I get up and I weigh myself, and I've recorded every single weigh-in since day one. But that is how often I weigh, is once a day. Did I start with 90 hours? No, I didn't. My very first fast, I started with a 42-hour fast, and that ended up being 47. And then I did a 65-hour fast, which ended up being a 67-hour fast. And then I did 90 hours back to back to back to back to back to back. You might want to watch some of my earlier videos because I do talk about this process. It's not like I just did a 42-hour fast out of the blue. I mean, yes, I did when I restarted, but I'm not new to fasting. I've done these fasts before. I've done longer fasts before. Yes, there was a 2+ year gap in between me and my longer fasting journey or longer fasting cycles, but I worked up to this point. I always say, just because I do 90-hour fasts doesn't mean that you should. It doesn't mean that you can't. But the reason I do 90+ hour fasts is because I was eating and I'm still eating 5, 6, sometimes 7,000 calories in a 4-hour refeed, and doing 90-hour fasts and eating the way I did allowed me to still continually lose weight every single time, which got me to my goal weight. And now that I'm in a maintenance phase, means I can't do 90-hour fasts anymore, because if I still continue to do 90-hour fasts, even though I'm still eating the same way I am, I'm still going to lose weight, and I'm not trying to lose weight anymore at this point. So, Aaron, thank you for the 2 pound. Thank you for the 2 pound donation. I appreciate that. Hopefully that helps answer your question. Fit check. Okay, this is this is the segment where I share I like to call it fit check. It's pretty much where I show you like what I look like currently, body wise. So just so people get a real idea of where I'm at. Now, remember again, I am currently weighing somewhere in the high 130s, 130-ish pounds, right? I think I weighed in today at right under 140 pounds. I, again, I'm not tall. I'm 5'3". So I do wear smaller clothes. At this point, I am now wearing youth clothes, like youth large. I'm wearing boys clothes because I can't even, I mean, I can wear an adult small. I have some clothes that are adult small, but they're too long on me because I'm short. So I have to wear, I can't even wear a youth extra large because sometimes those are a little too long too. But this is fit check just so you guys can see what I look like. Also, this is why my shirt is a dinosaur, because a lot of boys' clothes have dinosaurs on them. And this shirt is actually from when I first lost the weight back in 2019, 2020. And now I can wear these again, which is exciting. This shirt, this polo under here, is also a youth large. For those that are wondering, a youth large is size 12 to 14 for boys. These pants that I'm wearing are a size 28 waist, which are actually getting a little big too. But yes, fit check, just so you see. Again, boys large. Right? I wear a like a compressed shirt, and like I show this all the time too, just so you can see where I'm at. Like this is like loose skin right here. Like I'm grabbing my loose skin, just FYI. I get a lot of people who ask questions about my loose skin. I have mostly my loose skin is here. I do have some on my upper arms. I have some on my neck. I have some like even back here. Like can't really. Here's the thing is like, yes, I have loose skin. That's fit check, by the way, everyone. I just want to say this really quick. Yes, I do have loose skin, and does it really concern me? Sometimes I get a little self-conscious about it, but I also know that I'm still working on me. Like I literally lost all this weight in 5 months. So I'm not surprised that I have loose skin. Sure, I could have lost the weight a lot slower, but that's not what I was trying to do. I was trying to lose this weight, but I was still trying to go to the gym and lift weights to maybe counterbalance whatever. But I also know that it's only 5 months in. And my goal is to maintain this weight and keep this weight off for at least a year, try to add on more muscle and see what happens after that, and then decide if I do anything about it. Also, I'm 43 years old, and I'm not like, it doesn't surprise me that I have loose skin. So just FYI, like that's kind of where I'm at with what I'm doing and how I'm feeling. So I want to go ahead now though and take the time to talk about my journey, to talk about rolling fasts, rolling water fasts, or at least in my version, it's more of like a rolling modified or a, they're rolling fasts, and yes, they're water fasts as well, but I've drank more than water, but I'm going to talk about that. So for those who are wondering what a rolling fast is, because I see this question come up a lot. And maybe it's because I don't know. I incorporate rolling fasts into my regimen because I think, for me at least, it is the quickest way for me to lose weight. It's the quickest I've ever lost this weight. But I also do rolling fasts because it helps it helps me keep control of my issues with eating. And when I talk about that, the reason I feel like I was so successful is because I put a time limit on how long I could eat for. Because if I, okay, so really quick, a rolling fast is performing an extended fast, a prolonged fast, followed by a very short eating window, followed by another extended fast, followed by another short eating window, rinse, repeat for the last 5+ months. This is what I've been doing. This is how I was able to lose this much weight, even though I was able to eat anything I wanted. But because I did it in a short amount of time, that's how I was able to afford to lose this weight. Even though I was eating 5, 6, and sometimes 7,000 plus calories during that short amount of time, because I fasted for so long, that's how I was able to still lose weight every single time. But I'll show those details in a second here. Um, Aaron, again, with a £5 super chat. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you so much. Back again. After the refeed, how many days after would you see the weight from the refeed go away? This is a great question. So I'll show this also, Aaron, because I do have this in a, like, I do so, Aaron, I feel like I've seen you here before, but maybe not. But just to answer your question, because I eat so much after a refeed, it takes me 3 days to get my weight back to where it was. And 3 days is 72 hours, which is now maybe this will be helpful in answering you. That's why I do 90-hour fasts, because I know by the fourth day, because I know that in 3 days I'm going to get back to my original weight from the last fast. I know that adding a fourth day will make me lose weight. And again, I have this all documented. I mean, it's also in all of my videos in the past where I talk about every single time I've lost weight. But yes, that's why it worked so well for me, because I found my fasting number, which is what I try to help people do when I coach them, is for them to find their fasting number, to find something that they're able to fast, to find a length that they're able to fast for while eating however they eat. Again, people don't have to eat as much as I do. If you eat cleaner than I do, you probably don't have to fast for as long as I do. If you don't eat as much as I do, you don't have to fast for as long as I do. If you exercise more than I do, you probably don't have to fast for as long as I do. There are a lot of things to consider if you're trying to find your fasting number, if you're trying to find a way to lose weight, but to also do it in a way where you can do it again and again and again, because a lot of people think they can just go ahead and do 90-hour fasts. And I'm not against that. I'm not saying that you can't do it, but there's a very strong mental discipline. There's a very strong physical kind of willpower needed to complete a 90-hour fast again and again and again and again. And in my case, to do it 35 plus times over and over again in a 5-month span. So just FYI. Anyway, thank you so much, Aaron. You're doing awesome, by the way. Thank you so much. Love from Scotland. Thank you. Thank you for supporting all the way from Scotland. I appreciate that, Aaron. Thank you so much. Okay, so at this point, like, when I talk about rolling water fasts, they're called rolling because as I'm doing a long extended fast and then I refeed in a small window. So just to give you an idea, my average fast is about 4 days. So I fast for about 4 days. And then when I do eat, I eat for about 4.5 hours. So imagine fasting for 4 days, eating for about 4.5 hours, and then rolling into another fast for 4 days, eating for 4.5 hours, and then rolling into another 4-day fast. Hence, rolling water fasts. Yes, water is the majority of what I drink. I get this question asked a ton of times too, but I don't just drink water. I drink black coffee, usually black iced coffee. No, I don't put any sweeteners in it. I enjoy drinking black coffee. I drink tea, unsweetened tea. No, I don't put any kind of sweeteners in it either. When I talk about sweeteners, I'm not talking about sugar. I'm talking about I don't put any 0 calorie sweeteners in it. I enjoy drinking unsweetened iced tea or unsweetened tea. I also enjoy drinking black coffee. Now, I will also drink an occasional Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, Diet Dr. Pepper, Diet Root Beer, 7 Up, Diet 7 Up, Sprite Zero, et cetera, et cetera. Occasionally drink that as well. And I did that for the entire 5 months, and I lost the weight by doing that. I also understand if you don't want to drink diet anything, which I'm totally on board with, because a lot of people don't want those artificial sweeteners or chemicals, and I'm totally with that as well. I just talked about in one of my recent videos, after I hit my goal weight, I actually was able to do a 90-hour fast without drinking any kind of diet whatever, which I will admit was a little tough for me, but I was able to do that. And then I tried to do it again recently and I couldn't do it. So it's still something I'm trying to work on, because for me, I would love to be able to not drink any kind of diet drinks unless they were during my refeeds. So that's my hope in the future. As I'm at my maintenance weight now, a big part of what I want to do is be able to start changing some of the ways I eat, some of the ways I drink things. Again, part of this journey, and I talk about this for me, but I talk about this for a lot of you too. Part of this journey, yes, it could be weight loss focused at the very beginning, but the hope here is that you start building better habits as well, that you start building good habits, good healthy habits that you can take with you after you lose the weight, because I do think that's going to be the important part. You don't want to be in the situation where you lose the weight and then eventually you come back and you gain it back again. How do I know? Because I did it. I lost the weight back in 2020, and then I gained it all back in 2+ years. And then I had to go through this process again. Thankfully, I was able to do this process in a much quicker time span. I'm very thankful that I have been going to therapy, which has been a huge help in making sure that I'm in in a better mind state to do what I'm doing. So I've learned a lot. I mean, I'm just proud of myself for coming back on YouTube and showing my face back on here again, gaining, 75 plus pounds, like dealing with the embarrassment and dealing with the shame. Like I do feel like that took a lot to kind of come back and do that and be honest and be transparent about that. But I think one of the things I learned too is being honest with yourself is a very freeing thing. Being honest with who you are and what happened and owning up to your mistakes, I think for me, that really helped propel me to get back on this journey, to tell myself, you know what, I fucked up, but it's okay because I'm back again and I'm willing to put in the work and I'm willing to give this another shot. And not only did I give it another shot, but I was able to do it in record time, losing this weight in the quickest amount of time ever. 80 pounds in 5 months, where before it took, I think it was nearly a year. I'll have to get those numbers on that in the future, but yeah. Okay, so when I talk about these water fasts, these rolling water fasts, I want to remind people that everything that I did, how I started, it wasn't like I just threw a number up in thin air, right? A lot of what I did was done through trial and error in the past. That is one of my biggest successes to get to where I'm at today, to how I lost that much weight is because I've done this before. I've had the experience before. If you are starting to do water fasts, if you're going to start doing these rolling water fasts, it doesn't mean that you mimic exactly what I do. It doesn't. It doesn't mean that you can't try, but doing a 90-hour fast and then doing a 4-hour refeed might be very taxing for other people. It might it might it might be daunting to other people. It might be doable the first couple of times for some, but it might not be for everyone either. You have to keep in mind that part of doing these rolling fasts, being able to roll into another fast, roll into another fast, roll into another fast, takes a lot of willpower, takes a lot of discipline. And sometimes 90 isn't that number for you. Sometimes that number might be 36. Sometimes that number might be 72. And it doesn't mean that number has to be on repeat over and over and over again. Because again, you have to think about your mental strength in doing this, your physical strength in doing this. There are people who ask me, "Hey, Jerome, how can I do this without feeling so tired? Because I work in a very physically demanding job." Here's the thing is, yeah, for a lot of people who might be new to this, if your job is very physically demanding, it might take a toll on you. But I also want to remind people that I just did this in the last 5 months and I have a physically demanding job as a photographer. Yes, it might not be physically demanding like I play, in professional sports, but even with what I'm doing, I'm walking around a lot. I'm either moving things around, whatever, right? You might say, well, that's still not physically demanding. That's fine. But I'm also walking 5, 6 miles a day. I'm walking an hour and a half to 2 hours, sometimes longer than that, or at least an hour a day. I'm still going to the gym to lift weights. I'm still putting stress on my muscle. I'm still strength training. And I was doing all of that very first thing in the morning and still going to work after, still going to multiple jobs, multiple photography jobs, event shooting, moving around, making sure I'm in the right place at the right time. It's just a lot of work, like mentally and physically, with what I did on top of the physical activity I did to just get my workouts done during the day. So if you think that you can't work out and fast, you'd be surprised. It just might be something that you might need to work up to as you're starting to build your fasting muscle. When I talk about these water fasts, these rolling water fasts too, I want to mention that yes, it isn't just about the fasting. It's about the exercise that I performed. It's about being able to do things in a state where you're mentally prepared for it. But this is also part of finding a routine. One of the reasons I was so successful doing this is because I started sleeping at a decent time every night, which lately has even been it's been getting more difficult. And I think these are just my bad habits creeping back in, and I need to get back and more focused on that. But routine is such an important thing. Sleep is a very important thing, especially when you're performing these rolling fasts. Sometimes you need to get in this routine so that you don't find yourself super awake super late at night and then you're in your head like, should I break? And then you end up waking up in the morning and you have awful sleep and then you're all thrown off for the day. So things to think about too while you're completing these water fasts. So I want to the one thing I want to kind of pinpoint too is my success in losing all this weight is as I was doing this over and over and over. Yes, the scale, looking at the scale, knowing that I knew how long I needed to fast for to get the scale down was such a huge motivator for me. That's why I, without fail, did 90-hour fasts over and over and over because I knew that if I didn't do a 90-hour fast, that weight on the scale was not going to go down. And even though you shouldn't look at the scale as that kind of a determining factor, for me, it was my motivator. Yeah, that's like, Jerome, you're not taking your own advice. I know. But that's why I had the willpower and the mental fortitude or whatever you want to call it to keep doing 90-hour fasts because I needed to see that number on the scale drop. And as soon as that number on the scale dropped, doing a 90-hour fast, I knew that I could do it again. But I also knew that in order for me to get that number to drop again, I'd have to do another 90-hour fast. And because I knew that number in my head, because I knew what I had to do, it just became my goal. I focused on my goals. I looked ahead. Every time I would complete a fast and do my refeed, I said, okay, you rewarded yourself with what you ate. You gave yourself everything you wanted to eat. You have enough energy in you. You have the calories in you to do it again and to do it again. And I did. And that's how I got to where I'm at. That's how I was able to lose this weight, because I found my fasting number, because I did the research. I had the experience to do it again and again and again. This doesn't mean that you can't take a break. It doesn't mean that you have to keep doing the same fasts over and over, because I want people to understand that there are going to be tough times, that life happens, that things get in the way. And so sometimes your process might be an up and down journey, and there's nothing wrong with that either. So please keep that in mind as you're doing this. The very last thing on this too is, I knew as I did these 90-hour fasts for 5 months, I knew this wasn't going to last forever. I knew that I wasn't going to have to do 90-hour fasts forever. And that's where I'm at right now. I know that I'm not going to have to do a 90-hour fast for an indefinite period of time. I don't know when the next time I'm going to do a 90-hour fast is. I can't even explain how relieving that is when I know that I only have to do 65-hour fasts at this point. And maybe in the near future, I might not even have to do 65-hour fasts anymore, or I might do them a lot more infrequently and just use alternate day fasts as the majority of my fasting regimen. So for anyone who might feel like this is daunting, that it might feel too taxing, maybe remember to keep in mind your goals, number one, but two, that this won't be forever. That if you're just looking to lose weight right now and your goal is to just lose as much as possible, that this fasting regimen that you put out for yourself might not be or it won't be forever. That this just might be part of the process to get you to your goal weight, and then you can back off and lessen the load, and you put all the hard work in, and now you get to reap the benefits and do something that isn't as strenuous. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm at that point in my life. And I will tell you, that is very relieving for me to know that I'm 43 hours into my fast, that I'm this goddamn app with the asking me to pay for shit. That I'm 43 hours into this fast and I no longer have to do 90s, that I get to break tomorrow, that I don't have to break 2 days from now. That is mentally relieving for me. But that's also because I put the work in. That's because I was doing 90+ hour fasts for 5+ months straight. And now, because I knew I put the hard work in, now I get to back off of it. And even though 65-hour fasts still might sound very daunting to some, for me, after doing 90+ hour fast for this long, a 65-hour fast, in a lot of ways, it feels like nothing. And we all know that's not true, because it isn't nothing. They're still pretty lengthy fasts, but I'm comfortable with it. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I want to go ahead though and take this time and show you, oh, you know what? I have to now add everything back in because I accidentally logged myself out, because I don't know why. It just happened. So I'm going to go ahead here, and I actually went ahead and even dug a little deeper into my nerd stats. So I want to show these again. This is what it took for me to get to my goal weight. It took me 34 rolling fasts to get to my goal weight, from 217.8 pounds to 139.8 pounds, for a total loss of 78 pounds or 35.4 kilo. 34 of these, everyone. It took me 34 of these back to back to back to back for 5 months, from November 6th of 2023 to March 22nd. Now, not all of these were 90+ hour fasts. Some of these are shorter. 4 of them were shorter. Number 1, number 2, number 27, and number 31. Shorter fasts. But in the overall scheme of things, if you look at the average of these 34 fasts, they averaged out to 93 hours, 3 hours shy of 4-day fast. 3 hours shy of a 4-day fast. You'll see, though, I've also had some longer fasts in here. Number 5, number 15, number 25, and number 33, all 100+ hour fasts. Number 5 being nearly a 1-week fast. Number 15 being nearly a 6-day fast. Anyway, this is what it took for me to get to this weight, performing these rolling water fasts. This is also what it took for me to lose the weight through my refeeds, having shorter refeeds, having shorter eating windows. You'll see here at the very beginning, I kept these very, very short. I mean, the very first one was under an hour, but that was also because I did a 47-hour fast. But for the most part, on average, these 34 refeeds took about 4.5 hours. It was a 4.5-hour refeed, 34 of them. Also, let's remember, of the 138 days it took for me to lose 78 pounds, I only ate on 34 of those 138 days. 34 of those 138 days. And it didn't mean I ate for the entire 34 days. It meant that I ate on average for 4 hours and 23 minutes. The rest of the time was fasting, rolling into another water fast. Short eating window, rolling into another water fast. That's what it took me to get to this point. Again, nearly a 4-day fast, followed by nearly a 4.5-hour eating window, fast, feast, fast, feast, repeat. Make sense? Hopefully so. At this point, I want to show you these rolling fasts. This is how much weight I lost per fast. Out of these 34 fasts, this is how I got to lose 78 pounds. On average, these 34 rolling fasts, I lost about 2.2 pounds on these 34 fasts. At the very beginning, that's where most of the weight came off. Somewhere in the middle, that's where the least weight came off. And for some weird reason, the very last couple fasts is where the weight started to come off again even more. I'm not complaining. I'll take it. I really thought it was going to take me longer to get to my goal weight, but this is how it worked. This is the weight I lost after completing every 90-ish hour fast. This is also the chart where I show how much weight I've gained per refeed. On average, these 34 refeeds, I gained about 4.5 pounds per refeed. Some of these other ones, I gained over 5 pounds. If you look at refeeds 31 through 34, I gained over 5 pounds per refeed. Guys, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's just kicking me out, but I'm sorry about that. Sorry. Okay. Let me get back into this. I don't know what it's doing. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So, sorry, I'm just making sure I don't hit the wrong button because now I'm freaking out. Okay. What I was going to say is, even though I gained 5 pounds per refeed, there was never a moment in time where I didn't lose weight after completing a 90-hour fast. Wrong slide. This is where I want to show you. So again, even though I gained 5 pounds, let's say on fast number 3, or even though I gained 5 pounds on refeed number 34, the very last one, right? Like I still continue to lose weight, like a 2.6 pounds. Actually, I'm saying that wrong. So if you look, I believe this is how it works. Yeah. So look at refeed number 33. Refeed number 33 shows that I gained 5.2 pounds on day 135. And then if you look at day 138, I lost that 5.2 pounds and I lost an additional 2.6 pounds by day 138. Hopefully that makes sense. This chart here shows how much weight I've lost on top of all the weight I lost from refeeding the previous refeed. Not one point in time during these 34 rolling water fasts did I gain weight. I have lost every single time eating anything I wanted during my refeeds. So just keep that in mind. That's how I got to this. That's how I got to this. I don't know. Long day, maybe. I'm not sure. I also, for those that don't know, I'm kind of coming off of a small cold. I had a sore throat a couple days ago, and I'm better now. There's no more sore throat, but I have a little congestion, which is a little annoying because this ear is kind of popping in and out. But yes, like I was saying, I have not gained any weight regardless of what I ate during my refeeds. I have lost weight every single time after every single 90-hour fast. So just an FYI for those that might be wondering. Than, hi, how's it going? Than, I saw you do a super thanks. I think that's what it's called in one of my comments on the last live stream with a 349. I can't remember. Is this Thai? I can't remember what THB is, but thank you so much. Thank you for the support. You're my real life idol. Well, I appreciate that, Than. Thank you so much. When I feel like giving up, I'll come back to watch your videos. I'm glad that you're able to watch them for inspiration and for motivation. So thank you for saying that. I'm glad to be your idol. That's very weird for me to say, but thank you for the support. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, from Ty. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Ty bot. Thank you, Finger Touch. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, so let me get back into my stats here. This is my weight after ending every fast. Again, like I said, I did not gain any weight after every 90-hour fast, even though I ate maybe 4,000 calories on some days and maybe 6,000 calories plus on some days. Every single 90-hour fast I completed, I lost weight to the point where in 138 days, which is less than 5 months, I think, right? So on day one, 217.8 pounds, which is 98.8 kilo. Today, 138, weighing in at 139.8 pounds, which is 63.4 kilo. With a total loss of 78 pounds, 35.4 kilo. And right now, I'm kind of playing, not kind of, right now, I'm in maintenance, right? Like that is what I'm working on. And at this point, what I'm trying to do is just keep the weight off. I'm 10 days into it, but I have a whole set of stats that are going to talk about maintenance, and I'm going to go into that in a bit. I haven't shown this in a while too, but I also did start recording how long it took for me to get from like the 210s to the 200s. Just so people understand how quickly this weight went by or how quickly I lost this weight. To get from the 210s to the 200s, it took 4 days. And then to get from the 200s to the 190s, even though it says 211.6, that's because I refed and that's why it brought me back up. But for the most part, to get from the 200s to the 190s, it took a week. From the 190s to the 180s, it took 10 days. From the 180s to the 170s, it took 15 days. From the 170s to the 160s, it took 19 days. From the 160s to the 150s, it took 3 weeks, 21 days. And then from the 150s to the 140s, this was my longest period. It took 31 days to get from the 150s to the 140s. And surprisingly, I thought it was going to take longer to get to the 140s to 139.8, but it took 23 days. It took a shorter amount of time to get to my goal weight than it took to get from the 150s to the 140s. And I don't really know why, but again, I'm not going to complain. I don't really think I changed much during those last few weeks, but I got to my goal weight a lot quicker. So again, no complaints. When it comes to weight loss milestones, just so you have another overview of it, by day 5, I lost my first 10 pounds. So the very first 10 pounds when I was starting my journey, I lost, it took 5 days to lose 10 pounds. And it was just a very motivating thing for me to get that much weight off in 5 days. I was very surprised, maybe not very surprised. I think I expected at least a big jump at the beginning, but it took me less than 3 weeks to lose 25 pounds. It took 2 weeks and 5 days to lose 25 pounds. It took 2 months and 6 days to lose 50 pounds. And then it took 4 months and 3 weeks to lose 75 pounds. And then 5 days later, I hit my goal weight. And then 2 days after that, 2 days after that? No, 4 days after that. That's right. Day 142, I hit my lowest weight at 137.8 pounds, which is 80 pounds lost. And that's where pretty much I'm going to sit. I don't really have plans to lose more than 80 pounds. I'm good at where I'm at right now in the high 130s. And that might change in the future. But I think if it does change in the future, it would actually be to gain a little more weight because I've added on muscle, but I'm not there just yet. So we'll see what happens. At this point, though, I do want to talk about maintenance, right? Part of what I'm doing right now, the place where I'm at, is making sure that I can show myself and that I can show all of you that not only can I lose this weight, but that I can keep it off indefinitely. That is my plan from here on out, is to make sure that I do not gain this weight back and that I put preventative measures to make sure that I don't gain this weight back. Part of that preventative measure is to make sure that I continue showing accountability and transparency on this channel. So the moment I have a very bad day, the moment I eat back-to-back days, because by the way, I have not eaten back-to-back days since I've started this journey. I have not eaten back-to-back days in 147 days. I will be eating back-to-back days starting April 9th when my friend's in town for a week. I know I'm going to be eating every day. I probably am not going to be working out as much, but I'm going to document that entire process because I think it's going to be important. Because if I don't document that and I just eat every day and I don't share that, that's going to be me slipping up, and I don't want to be in that mode. So I'm just sharing that with you because I do think the maintenance part right now is the most important part of my journey at this point, is to keep the weight off. So let me go ahead and share with you. Sorry guys, I sit down and then I have to sit back on my chair and whatever, but I want to go ahead and I want to share with you my maintenance plan. Yes, I'm 147 days in, but technically for maintenance, I'm 10 days in. This is me right now maintaining my weight for the last 10 days after hitting goal weight, because on day 1 is when I first hit my goal weight, which immediately put me into a maintenance mode. You'll see here that the very first day I completed a 93-hour fast, bringing me to my goal weight. By day 2, after my refeed, I gained 5.4 pounds, putting me out of my maintenance range. If you look at the bottom, my range is anywhere between 137 and 143 pounds. Now, on day 3, 2 days after being fasted, I put myself back in that range. 3 days after being fasted, lost more weight. And if you look at day 5, 4 days being fasted, I hit another new record low, 137.8, and that was completing an 89-hour fast. At that point, that's when I told myself, okay, Jerome, you're not losing any more weight than that. You're going to stay right at 137.8. Like, you're not going to try to get under 137. So no more doing 90-hour fasts. That's when I realized I can't do another 90-hour fast, because if I did, I would probably get under 137 pounds, and I don't want to be under that maintenance range that I set for myself. So if you look at day 6, I gained 5.8 pounds after that refeed, putting me at 143.6 pounds. Actually, that shouldn't be green because that's out of my range, but I'll fix that for next time. 2 days after, 141.2. 3 days after, back at 138.2 pounds. And you'll see there on day 8, when I hit 138.2 pounds, I did a 66-hour fast. So you can see that now that I'm in maintenance mode, the hours of me being fasted are not as long as they used to be. They're no longer going to be 90-hour fasts. I don't need to do 90-hour fasts anymore to get to this weight. Things are starting to get a little more relaxed for me, which I think is great, because if you look at days 9 and days 10, I'm already back in the 130s. So I'm actually going to share it like this too. If you see here, on day 1, I completed a 93-hour fast. And then when I did this again on day 5, it was an 89-hour fast. Less hours fasted, and you'll see the weight already dropping more. If you look at day 8, yeah, I might have gained 0.4 pounds, being 138.2, but I didn't have to fast for an extra day. Like, this is what's starting to change. As I'm in this mode right now, my body is starting to settle at this weight. At least that's my assumption. So now I don't have to fast for as long anymore, and I can still eat at a longer refeed, which is great. And just to share, just again, for a little more like nerd stats, if you look at what my average fast is right now during maintenance, because it's still very new, it's only been 3 fasts since maintenance, but I'm averaging 82 hours right now, 82 hours and 22 minutes, compared to how long it took me to fast, or how long I was fasting for the first 138 days, which was 93 hours and 4 minutes. So already by 11 hours, I'm fasting less by 11 hours. And tomorrow, when I do another 65-hour fast and break, that number is even going to drop more. I'm just going to start sharing these numbers so you can see that, yeah, I might have really pushed it at the beginning, but I'm at the point now where I don't need to do it that strongly. To keep my weight just at maintenance, it's going to be a much easier fast, I guess. It doesn't mean that it isn't still going to take a lot of work. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to have to pay attention to other things, because I still will. But I just know that this is going to be an easier part for me in terms of the fasting in general. If you look at the refeed too, my refeed during maintenance has been a little longer, about 6 hours versus the 4.5 hours that I did in the first 138 days. You'll see too. I'm starting to break down what these numbers look like one day after a refeed, one day fasted after a refeed. And what I love to see is the fact that this is my body settling into its place. The weight isn't fluctuating as much anymore. And the more I continue to do this, the more I hope that the weight keeps staying at, where it should be. You'll see 2 days after fasted, or 2 days fasted after refeed, that number is still dropping down. My most recent one, I'm already hitting the 130s after 2 days fasted. Oh, I can't even show you sleep and exercise, guys, because I didn't get to that part. But anyway, that's really it. I just wanted to share that portion of it, because I want people to know where I'm at when it comes to what I'm doing maintenance wise and how to keep that weight off. So that's really it. At this point of the stream, I want to go ahead and I want to do some Q&A. I might not get to everyone, but I am looking. Okay, I'm looking at Krish Krish at 8:49 p.m. with an electrolyte question. So I'm actually going to go ahead and answer Krish's question. If you have a question, please ask it now. I should have said that at the beginning. I keep forgetting to say that sometimes. I don't do Q&A until the very end, but where Krish is at, I'm going to start with him at 8:49 p.m. If you have questions, ask them now. I will get to them in about a minute. But what I want to talk about really quick is I want to take a second and talk about coaching. So there are a lot of people that come to me, or they'll email me, or they'll DM me, and they'll ask for help. And one of the things that I do offer people is coaching, whether it's coaching on fasting, whether it's coaching on losing weight, whether it's just needing someone to be accountable to. That is something that I do offer for people. A lot of times, for me especially, I couldn't lose this weight without showing some accountability. And part of me being accountable was starting a YouTube channel, publishing publicly. And sometimes it doesn't mean that that's what you have to do unless you want to. But I do feel that um, sometimes you just need someone to show some accountability to, or accountability for. So there is a link in the description. I mean, it's posted here right now. But if you are looking for some type of coaching, whether it's just a session to figure out what the plan is, how long you think you should be fasting for, what you think you're capable of. I also do offer free 15-minute consultations. So please feel free to take a look there. It doesn't cost you anything. I want to be able to help people reclaim their health, reclaim their lives. So even if it's just me being able to talk to you and give you some advice, it is something that I do offer as a one-time thing. So please feel free to check that out. And that's really it when it comes to coaching. I will say too, if there are any of you that are interested in a YouTube membership, that is something that I offer as well. There is a link in the description. YouTube memberships, depending on what tier you sign for, there is an autophagy membership there. The autophagy membership will allow you to be in a Wednesday live stream. It's a members only Wednesday live stream, but that's where I'm not really talking. I mean, I am talking, but I'm going through chat more than anything else. I'm talking to chat. I'm answering questions. It's more of an accountability check. It's to make sure that you're doing what you need to be doing, answering any questions. It's not like a one-on-one coaching type deal, but it's more like a group coaching type deal. I'll still answer questions one-on-one as long as we have time. It just depends on what's happening in the chat there. But if you are interested in that, please take a look. The link is in the description. Obviously, all of this is not mandatory, right? I do want to say too, everything that I teach here, everything that I share here is really no different than personal coaching or these accountability members only live streams. More of that is just like a personalized, tailored version to kind of help you keep going, to make sure that you hit the goals that you need to hit. So that's all I have to say about any of that. So let me go ahead and scroll back up here, and I'll start with Krish. Krish asks, do I take electrolytes? No, I don't. I stopped taking electrolytes a while ago. I used to take electrolytes. I've said it earlier in the stream too. I've talked about them a lot in my earlier streams. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, those are electrolytes I use. So if you need more specific detail, I do talk about them in earlier streams, but I'll just say it real quick. For sodium, I used to take iodized salt. I took iodized Morton salt. For potassium, I took no salt. The brand is called No Salt. It is a salt alternative, but it is straight up potassium. For magnesium, I used a pill. I took pills, a magnesium citrate. I took an organic version of that. So that is what I took for electrolytes. Angela, hi, Angela. It's nice that they put little icons, so I know which ones are my YouTube members. Angela, question. Hey, Jerome from London. Oh, yes. Hi, Angela. That's right. You're on my Wednesday live stream. You mentioned last week that you were thinking about what type of meals you want to do when you refeed. Have you decided? Carnivore, keto, vegan, etc. Angela, no, I have not decided yet. I haven't really thought about it, because right now what I want to do is I want to just make sure that I settle into my 130s weight. I think I'm still not in the mode yet where I want to experiment with restricting certain types of foods because I don't want that to trigger me at the moment. But I don't know what I'm going to do first. I don't know if I should start with something like carnivore. So for people who are wondering, when I'm talking about my maintenance mode, part of what I'm trying to do right now is be better in the way I'm eating, or at least be open minded in different ways of eating, different ways of thinking, different ways of doing things. Because part of my weight loss journey, part of my health and happiness journey is to find better ways to live my life. And part of that might be healthier eating. It doesn't mean that I'm going to eat healthy all day, every day, but it also doesn't mean that I shouldn't incorporate some of these things every once in a while. So I do have ideas of maybe one day or maybe for a week eating carnivore or a week eating vegan. And it doesn't mean that it's going to be something that I'm going to do forever, but I might start learning a thing or two about implementing some of these things as I continue to eat more frequently, especially if I start doing only alternate day fasts, because I know that I can't keep eating 6,000 calories and do an alternate day fast because sooner or later that's going to catch up with me and I'm going to gain weight. So maybe what I can start doing is think differently about how I'm eating. Maybe some refeed days I will eat a little junkier, but then maybe some other days I'll clean up my eating and try to balance things out. But Angela, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do just yet. But thank you for the question. Nice to see you in the chat, by the way. Also, it's pretty late where you're at, isn't it? But I remember you said you were up pretty late. Regardless. Chevy, does fasting in Ramadan have the same impact as your fasting? I mean, so fasting in Ramadan, right, is fasting when the sun comes up until the sun goes down. Is that correct? And not only are you fasting from food, but you're also fasting from drink. So you're technically doing a dry fast. Does it have the same impact? I mean, I don't know how long these fasts are for, maybe 14 hours, maybe more or less, depending, right? But I'm sure they have an impact, but I'm also pretty sure they don't have an impact. I'm also pretty sure they don't have the same impact as me performing my average 92-hour fast. You're talking about a 12 to 14-hour fast versus a 90-hour fast. Obviously, the 90-hour fast is going to give you greater results. That's just because of the length, if that makes sense, Chevy. Okay, hold on. I got super chats. I got to go through these first. C-Star with a $20 super chat. C-Star, thank you so much for the generous donation. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the number stats. I appreciate that. You appreciate that, C-Star. At one point tonight, I'm like, am I showing too many stats? Is this getting too much? Are people getting bored? But again, I also remember I really like to show them because I do think they show the factual evidence of what I'm doing and why it works. They're super helpful. I'm glad you think so. Looking forward to you documenting the week off with your friend. I'm looking forward to that too. I told my friend, you have to record me eating whenever we go eat and however that works, because I'm actually going to be really curious when I eat back-to-back days. I'm curious how that's going to affect my weight. I know that means that even if I gain, let's say I gain 20 pounds in that week, which would be crazy if I did. But imagine if I did. I also know that it won't be 20 pounds of straight fat, right? But I'm also wondering how much weight I'm going to gain if I eat 7 or 8 days in a row. But I'm really curious, and I think that I'm genuinely curious myself, and I'm genuinely curious about how I'm going to get that weight off whenever it comes. But I also have to remember I'm in maintenance mode, and I have to make sure that I'm still trying to be mindful about it. But I'm also reminding myself that life happens and social events happen. And I want to document that because I want people to understand that, yeah, social events are going to happen. Parties might happen. Unexpected things in life might happen. And you're just going to have to deal and roll with it. And that's what I want to be able to share with other people. I always have a hard time getting back I always have a hard time getting back on plan, especially after a longer time where I'm stuck now. Yeah, and that's going to be part of my process too. Is I don't know how I'm going to feel eating 7, 8 days in a row. I'm a little worried about, am I going to get back on plan to start fasting again? Or is it going to be so difficult because I ate so many days in a row that I'm not going to be able to fast again? We're going to see. I'm going to document all of that. But Cesar, thank you for such a generous donation. Thank you for the $20 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Guys, there's DMMX1 with a $20 donation as well. Thank you so much. Aren't you supposed to be on vacation? Why are you here right now? I'm not complaining. I'm glad that you're here, but thank you for the donation. Hey, Jerome. Hello from sunny Clearwater, Florida. Thank you for joining. 40.7 pounds in 6 weeks. That's amazing. You must feel like $1 million to have lost that much weight in that short amount of time. That's amazing. Congratulations. Congratulations, Mark. Glad I caught some of the live stream. You look spiffy tonight. Yeah, I was trying, right? With my dinosaur shirt too. Hope you're doing well. Same to everyone in the chat. Thanks for stopping by. Even if you're just here for a short time, I appreciate you stopping by, taking some time during vacation to come here. Thank you. Thank you. Also, like I said, I read everyone's comments and everything later in chat. I thought you were going to WrestleMania, and I think you said you were just watching it. So thanks for clearing that up. Thank you again for the generous donation. Thank you so much. And there's also another $20 chat from Andre Page. Thank you for the generous donation. Thank you so much. J-Man, the fit check really helps us see progress in real time. It does. And that's why I like showing it. I like to be able to show people that, and I wish I did this at the beginning when I first started doing my live streams, but I think I was too self-conscious at that time when I weighed that much weight. And now that I'm at a lower weight, like I feel a lot more confident. Even if I have loose skin, I like being able to just show, like, I mean, I don't think I'll ever be able to like lift my shirt up and be like, yeah, look at all this loose skin. But I think I'm in a place where I feel just a lot more confident in who I am and how I'm feeling. Question: the Builder's protein bars are quite tasty. What made you choose them? Oh, are you talking about my older videos when I ate those? I don't know what made me choose them. Are you talking about the yellow wrapper bars? I don't know if they make them anymore. Do they? I might be thinking, I don't know. I'm going to Google. Well, actually, I can Google it now. Builder's protein bars. Oh, those. Yeah, I think I just randomly picked them one day and I thought they were really good. Actually, I'm so glad you said that because I should start eating those again on my refeeds. I think they might help make me eat better. So I don't eat so much like super sugary processed stuff at the end of my refeeds. Thank you actually for bringing that up because I think I'm going to start doing that again. I don't know what made me choose them. I think they were at Amariano's, which is a grocery store here in Chicago. I think I just randomly picked it and I thought they were good. So I just kept buying them. But Andre, thank you for such a generous donation. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you for all these like super huge donations at the very end here. My God, guys, you guys are so generous. I can't even, it's like every time I'm on these live streams, I'm like, what are you guys doing? You guys are crazy. Okay, let me go ahead and get back to these questions. Expathagus, am I saying that right? Expathagus, did you have side effects like constipation? Nope. I know people also ask if I had issues with diarrhea, and the answer to that is also no. I can fast for 4 days or 5 days, and I can eat at a buffet or eat at like an all-you-can-eat steakhouse. I went to an all-you-can-eat sushi place with my cousin on Friday, and like I don't have any issues. I'm good. I know it's different for everyone, and so that's something that you all have to be careful with while you're doing this. But I've never really had issues or side effects like that. Yes, I did have side effects like at the very beginning. I remember when I first started fasting again after not fasting for over 2 years, I did have, I think on my second fast, I did have issues with diarrhea, but that was it. That was like really the only time. Other than that, like I'm usually fine. I did have also issues with like nausea and weakness and whatever at the very beginning, especially when I first started doing prolonged fasts, but I don't have any issues like that whatsoever anymore. Um, Tox is prime. How's the loose skin? It's loose. I have loose skin. Lower belly, neck, upper arms, um, upper inner thighs. Any truth to having less with fasting autophagy? I so I've lost this weight before and it looks pretty similar to what it looks like now. I want to at least try to do this for I want to try to maintain I want to try to maintain this weight for at least a year. So we'll see if there are any changes during that time. But right now, I haven't noticed anything major. So that's kind of my experience with this. I get so many questions on loose skin, and it's really interesting to me because I know there are a lot of you who understandably have issues with loose skin, but I'll give you my honest opinion. If I had to pick between being overweight, being obese, being diabetic, being type 2 diabetic, having high blood pressure, feeling tired, being hot and sweaty all the time, can't work out without like losing my breath versus loose skin, I'll take loose skin every day of the week. I can deal with loose skin. I would rather be at a healthy weight. I'd rather not have my heart rate be 100 something every day. I'd rather not have high blood sugar or high blood pressure. I again, I get it. I understand. People want to know what loose skin is like, how bad it is, but I'd rather have good health than not have loose skin. That's just the truth of how I feel about that. Tox is prime. Tox is prime. If I'm saying that right. Thank you for the question. Rochelle Brown, you walk you walk 5 mile You walk 5 miles a day and go to the gym. Yes, I do. Do you walk all the miles at once? No, I don't. I've said this before. What I do is I walk to my gym. My gym's about 25 minutes away. So I do a 25-minute walk to the gym and then I go lift weights. I'm only there for about 25, 35 minutes max. And then after the gym, I go for about an hour walk, hour and a half walk. And that usually ends up being a 1.5 to 2 hour walk almost on a daily basis. And I don't do those walks because I'm trying to keep I mean, yeah, I do those walks for my exercise, but I do those walks because I actually enjoy them. They're leisure walks. They're not strenuous. I'm not out of breath while I'm walking. As the weather gets better, I'm just loving it more and more. Today, you know, I live by the lake here in Chicago and I walk up and down the lake almost every day and I love it. There's a ton of people who walk the lakefront trail too and it's just yeah, I love doing it. Also, do you walk outside and on the treadmill? I walk outside as much as I can. I walk on the treadmill when it's snowing or icy outside or raining and I hate walking on the treadmill, but I will do that for at least an hour just to get the walk in. Or because I usually, for the most part, I will walk 7 days a week. But when I do take a day off, if it's raining, it's usually because, or when I do take a day off, it's usually because it's raining and I don't want to walk on the treadmill for an hour. So hopefully, Rochelle, that answers your question. Thank you for the question. Julia C asks, in the refeed window, how are you eating? Julia, you can watch my videos on YouTube. I have a playlist called Refeed. That is how I'm eating. If I'm eating at home, if I'm eating at home for the entire time, it is a very different process than when I'm eating when I'm out socially with friends. When I'm out eating socially with friends, I'll eat and I'll drink, and I don't drink when I'm at home by myself. When I do eat at home, it's a lot more structured. I usually put protein and vegetables first, fruits right after that, nuts, and then I eat junk food at the end. When I'm eating out socially, I'll eat whatever and whenever with no real rhyme or reason. I'm when I'm out with people and I'm socializing, I'm realizing that I need to live my life and just live a normal life. And that's kind of what I do. And this is me trying to balance my life with my fasting regimen. This is me trying to balance my life while being happy and healthy. This is me not trying to be too strict with myself because I know that life happens and it gets in the way, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's how it is with me. How will you establish a new relationship with food? Julia, I've talked about this a lot in my streams, but that's something I'm doing right now. One of the things that I do is I go to therapy, and it's how I talk about my eating disorder and dealing with that. But my relationship with food has changed tremendously since I started this. And part of me finding my relationship with food is doing these live streams and making videos and going through the process of actually doing it. One of the things that I've noticed too, I'll share this really quick. So I went out for wings with my friends a couple days ago. Tuesday? Was it Tuesday we went out for wings? Monday. Tuesday. No. Me and my friends went out for wings on Tuesday. We ordered 50 wings, and there was at least 10 to 12 left over. And I think I ate maybe only 10 or 11. And they were like, "You're full? Why aren't you finishing? Or why aren't you eating more?" Because they know I can eat a lot. But I'll explain it this way. Old Jerome would have continued to eat those wings. Even though I really wasn't feeling like eating them anymore. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the term food fatigue. Food fatigue is when you eat the same kind of food over and over in one sitting where it just doesn't taste good anymore. And that's what I started to experience. Old Jerome would have continued to eat it even without the food fatigue because part of my personality was to just eat and show people how much I could eat. And now that's not something that I do. I also know that I had food waiting for me at home, and I know that I would enjoy food better if I didn't force this food I didn't want to eat anymore down. There are many other things when it comes to my relationship with food, but it is very different than it is today. I think that's something I think I'd have to take more time to think about and really discuss. But that's kind of where I'm at with what I'm doing now. I also, one of the things I'll say just to kind of end this too is if you watch my old episodes of Refeed, I always ended the night eating pumpkin pie without question, pumpkin pie at the end, all the time, all the time, all the time. Yesterday, no, wait, not yesterday. I refed on Friday. When I came home, I couldn't even eat pie. I came home when I went out to eat at an all you can eat sushi place. I had my Brussels sprouts and Italian sausage. I had my bananas. I had cashews. I had some Girl Scout cookies because I bought some from an old friend. And I was done. I didn't even want pumpkin pie. Like that's how things have changed with me. I have been learning to kind of just like sit with how I'm feeling for a little bit. And if I'm not hungry, I just try not to force it down anymore. That is a very big switch from how I used to be and how I used to eat. Again, that's going to be something that I probably am going to need to take more time to think about and explain in the future, but that's how it is right now with my relationship with food. Julia, thank you for the question. Um, Natasha, hi Natasha. Congratulations, Jerome. Thank you so much. Quick question about whether or not you experienced any changes to your volume level of satiety since attaining maintenance. Yeah, actually, so this is really interesting. Even though I know I could probably put 6,000 calories down, I do feel like my level of satiety my level of feeling full feels different. I don't think it feels the same, which is a little weird to say. I haven't really counted my calories in a minute. So most of the time I'm just guesstimating it, but I think on my next refeed, which is Monday, which is tomorrow, I'm coaching tomorrow, I think pretty late. I think I'm coaching until 9:30 p.m. Central tomorrow, so I don't think I'm eating until after that. But I think I might be counting my calories then. I might even try to record myself eating if I'm not too tired, but we'll see. And we'll see if I'm still eating 6,000 calories or if that's been changing over time. Usually, many report feeling full on much less. I mean, here's the thing though, is like there are videos of me doing refeed where I weighed 130. So 10 pounds less than what I weigh right now. And I was still eating 7,000 calories. Now, I don't know if that's going to be changing. I don't know if that's changed since the 3 years since I've last done it, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. That's not a question that I can completely answer without actually doing the math on how many calories I'm eating. But that's a great question, and I'm actually curious myself. So Natasha, thank you for asking. There are super chats. Am I missing something? Melly Mel, I'm so sorry. I missed this. Melly Mel with a $10 super chat. Good evening from Aurora. Aurora. Hello, fellow Chicagoan, right? Chicagoland area member. You know how this goes. I don't want to say Chicagoan because I live in the city. You're in Aurora. I'm just giving you a hard time, Melly Mel. Thank you for the $10 donation. Thank you for the support. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Starting my rolling fast this week, about 70 pounds to lose. Thank you for your transparency and motivation. Number one, you're welcome. 70 pounds. Let's go. I'm all for it. Please keep me up to date with your journey and how you're doing. Hopefully these videos help. Hopefully they can help you get into the rhythm of what you're doing. Can't wait to update you on my progress. That's exactly what I was going to ask for next. Please let me know how you're doing. Melly Mel, thank you again for the $10 donation. Good luck to you on your progress. And I think the weather's about to break soon. So hopefully maybe you can take some time, get outside, maybe go for a walk in the good weather that we're maybe about to have in the near future. Rochelle Brown with a $5 donation. Again, Rochelle, thank you so much. Wait, right? You donated earlier, right? I'm losing track already. Does your strict lifestyle affect your dating life? I hate having to explain why I can't eat like everyone else. The judgment is real. So my stricter lifestyle affected my social life overall in general, whether dating or social or whatever, it affected it. It became an issue. And I don't want to call it an issue, but for me, I didn't budge when it came to certain things. And sometimes I compromised. That really just depends. Like it came to the point where my friends asked me, Jerome, what days are you eating? And they worked with me around my schedule. That's not going to go well with everyone, but people also understand that that's just how I live my life. I will say that when I first started fasting in November, I was very strict. Nothing was going to change my mind about what I was doing. Nothing was going to stop me about my routine. But I will say, towards the end of my fasting journey, as I was getting closer to my maintenance weight, my goal weight, I really let go of a lot of those restrictions. I was more lax, if that's the better way to put it. I I started to realize that it was more important for me to balance my social life than just be super strict with what I was doing. That's going to be different for everyone. I and I'm not trying to call anyone out because like I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but I am coaching someone um, who told me that their social life was important and that they prioritize that. And the moment that client told me that, I was like, you know what? Like, I agree. Like, I do think that I enjoy friends, right? And I want to make sure that I keep my relationships sound. Like I want to make sure that I have quality relationships with people. And so I did start to play that balancing act of like trying to balance some of that. So even if you saw my fasting journey, even though they averaged around 90 plus hours, some of them were shorter, like 65 hours, partly because I was going to do that, but also partly because I knew there were events coming and I wanted to partake in them. And some days I let my eating window longer than others because I was really trying to balance that out. Part of what this journey is, part of the fasting lifestyle is to really try to find a balance within that. And it's not going to be the easiest, especially if it's new, but that is something that I do think is important. And it's going to be something that's just going to take time and for you to figure out what's important for you. And I think some other people too, right? They just have to deal with the fact that you just don't eat every day, that some people just don't do it. And it's a very small percentage of us, but I'm okay with that because I know that I can't eat every single day without having to really, really be strict on watching what I eat. I like giving myself the opportunity to be a little more lax with my diet, which is why I fast for a longer amount of time. Rochelle Brown, either way, thank you so much for the donation. Thank you for the support. Hopefully that answer was a little helpful, or at least gave you a little relatable outlook into how this also works for someone else who's fasting too. Sorry, I still have that like slight cold that I was talking about earlier. Let me go back up and make sure I don't miss anything. Emily Baker, did you experience a lot of loose skin? Yes, I've answered this question. I do have loose skin on my lower belly, my neck, my upper arms, my upper inner thighs. You might want to watch some of this stream earlier because I already answered this question, but yes. Knowledge is power. High knowledge is power. Do you have any tips for people who want to do extended 50 plus hour fasts while having physically active jobs? I talked about this earlier too. I mean, right? I have done prolonged fast. I'm currently about to embark on another 50 plus hour fast. I'm 40 something hours in it. I do have a physically active job, but I also work out. I walk 5, 6 miles a day. I go lift at the gym. My only tip for you is build your fasting muscle. That's really the best way I can put it. You might not, if you haven't fasted in a long time, or if you're new to fasting, I really wouldn't expect you to be able to do a 72-hour fast and lift weights and go for a walk in the very same breath. If you haven't done one of these in a while, or if you've never done them before, work up to it. If that means doing a couple 23-hour fasts and incorporating a gym day in there, do that first. Get used to that first. Throw in a 36-hour fast, do an alternate day fast, and kind of stick that in there. There are other people who do modified fasts. And by modified, I mean some people will stick, like, they'll eat lean meat, right? They'll eat lean proteins in their fast, like a very small portion. Now, this is where I kind of draw the line because I don't do that. People might still accept that as a fast, but that's going to be different on everyone. And I think at the end of the day, if you're putting yourself at a caloric deficit, then maybe that's something that you could do while you're still working out. But what I've done is I've built my fasting muscle. It's taken me time. I just wouldn't expect to be able to do 50 plus hour fasts and lift weights and do cardio, or I'm not even talking about lifting weights and cardio because you're talking about a physically active job. So, at this point, my suggestion would just to be to build up to it. So if you are fasting for 50 plus hours and you can't do your job, don't don't continue to fast. If it's affecting your job, don't fast. Like you don't want to put your health or your job on the line because you're just trying to fast because you're trying to lose weight quicker than kind of building up to it. Does that make sense? Like, I know that's maybe not the truth you want to hear, but that is probably the best advice I can give you when it comes to that. Brian Drury, what's the fasting timer app you're using? I use the Zero app. I don't pay for it. Don't use the paid. I mean, pay for it if you want, but I don't pay for that app because I just use it to time my fasts. What supplements you use while fasting? I don't use any supplements whatsoever. Daughter of the Most High God, how tall are you? I'm 5'3", aka 1.6 meter. So I'm a short guy. Lena asks, do you have in plan to create or let us create a Discord page for your fans to help each other? No, I'm working on a community thing and I just have not had time, especially because coaching has been taking up so much of my time. Outside of membership, for those that can't do that, I don't. I'm sorry. And it's not something that I'm really thinking about doing at this moment. I don't use Discord. I tried to use it in the past. I don't really care for it much. But yeah, that's just where I'm at. There are so many other ways, though, for support. This chat being one of them, commenting on the videos, another, and I'm sure there are other like groups and things too. So I am working on a community thing, though, that I hope can be used by everyone in the future. So when it gets to that point, I will talk about that. So yeah. Finger touch. I know this is not a question. Jerome is wearing a dinosaur shirt. I am right there. It's a Cat and Jack shirt. It's a boys large. You can't find these shirts in adult designs, which is a little sad. I feel like they need to make more like kid designs for adults. You know what I mean? So I feel like I'm kind of lucky having that. Gallivanting. As a Filipino, we'd say galabanting. Galabanting grandma says, I wonder if you'd gain less if you do OMAD the week your friend is visiting. Maybe. I am trying to see if I could do OMAD the week my friend is in town. But I'm also, here's the thing is, yeah, I could probably do OMAD. And I bet you there's probably maybe even a day that I don't have to eat. But the thing about it is, my friend's not going to be here all the time. And I want to enjoy myself. And I don't want to like be with my friend or when other friends we're all together. I don't want to be there and not eat. I want to like be social and enjoy what I'm doing. So part of this process, part of what I'm doing is learning to live with these moments, learning to know, like understanding that not every day is going to be as strict as all the other days. I've been talking about this a lot with other people I'm coaching, but I'm trying to take a look at this in a bigger perspective, the bigger picture, to look at the bigger picture, look at the bigger things, because this week or that particular week my friend is in town is going to be this much of my life compared to this much that has happened in the last 5 months, right? This is going to be insignificant as long as I keep this part intact, as long as I stay disciplined here. This is the part that I need to work on as well. So yeah, I mean, doing OMAD, I think I'll incorporate it in a day or maybe 2 days. I don't know just yet. But I also am trying to remind myself that life happens and I want to enjoy the time that my friend's here. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I'll be documenting it all. So hopefully you guys look forward to that as well. Gallivanting grandma, thank you for the question. I appreciate it. Ruthie Bird, does fasting get easier? For me, yeah. For some, maybe not. Actually, let me ask this question to chat. Chat, please feel free to chime in. Does fasting get easier for you personally? Don't answer this question because you heard it from someone else. Answer this question truthfully for yourself. Does fasting get easier? I physically and mentally felt so terrible while fasting. Weakness, brain fog, and super depressed feeling. I did 348 fasts back to back and couldn't continue. Ruthie Bird, I mean, here's the thing. If you are starting to feel this way, if you start feeling terrible, there's your first thing right there. The moment you feel terrible, stop. Stop. And I don't mean to call you out, Ruthie Bird, but I'm going to say this to everyone here. If the first thing you're feeling is terrible, stop fasting, break your fast. Don't put yourself in a position where you feel terrible, where if somebody asks you, how are you doing? And your answer is, I feel terrible. Why are you fasting? Stop, break your fast, refeed, get the nutrients in you, or make sure you're at least taking your electrolytes before you decide to break your fast. Kind of sit with that for a little and then decide whether you're going to break, refeed, and go again. Yeah, you talk about doing 348s in a row, and that's me talking about building your fasting muscle. But if your very first fast, your very first 48-hour fast, and you're feeling terrible, then break. If you're going to tell me, well, I did my first 48-hour fast and I was fine. And I did my second 48-hour fast and I was fine. But by the time I did my third one, I felt terrible. Then break. You have to build your fasting muscle. People can't come in here and say, I did 3 and this is how I feel and this is how it's going to feel forever, because that's not how it works. The way this works is a consistent basis of fasting, doing it over and over and over again, not just 3 times in a row, 30 times in a row, 60 times in a row. I've been doing this for 5 months in a row nonstop. I've done this in the past over and over and over nonstop. Again, this is not meant to pick on you. There are a lot of people here who think that they can come in here and do it and have no issues. And, oh, yeah, I'm just going to copy Jerome and it's just going to be like this piece of cake. And for some, it might be. But this is also why I tell people, don't fast the way I do. Don't eat the way I do. Don't exercise the way I do. Find what works for you. Find what that number is. Maybe one day it's a 48. Then the next day it's a 23, 23, 23, 48, 72, 23, 23, 48. Sometimes you have to play with those numbers. Sometimes it takes trial and error. Sometimes it takes experience to build that. That's the best advice I can give. When you talk about a super depressed feeling, awful. I don't want to feel that way. Nobody should feel that way. People shouldn't feel that way. Unless you're going through this spiritual journey, you took the week off from work, you don't have to do anything. You can just lay in bed and all you want to do is fast and actually get through like a full water fast. Maybe you're giving yourself a detox. Maybe you're ridding yourself of carbs and caffeine. Because I know that if I had to give up caffeine, there's no way I could get through the day. I know by day 2 of water fasting without caffeine, I'd probably go insane. And I think it's something I'd want to do eventually, but I have to actually give myself time off because I know that I wouldn't be able to function if I just completely cut caffeine out of my diet. But that's something I'd have to prepare for. So Ruthie Bird, I say this as just like sometimes you got to work up to it. Sometimes you just need to put a little more experience behind it. That's all I got. So hopefully, Ruthie Bird, that was a little helpful. Okay, guys, hold on. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Right? Did I miss any other super chats? No, I'm good. I'm good. Wait, did I? Oh, no, good. Okay. Where are we at? Oh my God, guys, we're 2 hours. You guys are crazy with I mean, I love that I love that you're asking questions, and I was searching for super chat, and Bruce, of course, out of the blue here, Bruce with the $20 super chat. Bruce, thank you so much for the generous support. I was about to wrap things up, and then Bruce comes in with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much for the generous donation. How do you combat hunger in your refeed? Do the glucose spikes not cause you to have intense hunger? So let me answer you honestly. The glucose spikes, they do cause intense hunger. They really do. Has the hunger gotten easier with the subsequent fasts? Bruce, the honest answer here is I eat very carb heavy after every refeed. And the hunger always hits hardest for me the day after. I don't know if it's me being used to that hunger and just telling myself to get over it, but no matter how hungry I get, I don't budge. I don't want to eat back-to-back days. See, this might change when my friend comes into town and I eat back-to-back days, and who knows if I can get right back on it. That I think is going to be the bigger question for me. So I'm not really sure. But like where I'm at right now, I do feel like it is a lot of discipline. I do feel like it is a lot of experience doing it over and over. I do feel like because I'm accountable on YouTube and I have to post videos, it reminds me that I can't just eat and be okay with it, because I have to own up and explain myself to thousands of people. So yeah, I do still have intense hunger. Maybe it's not as intense as maybe others, but it does come and go. And just for that short amount of time, because when I do get hungry, I really think I think that hunger is only hitting for maybe less than half an hour. I don't think it's hitting me that long. So if it's hitting longer for you, maybe that's just something that's going to take time. Um, But, like, that's really the only advice that I have. I mean, I do have those other videos on how to combat, like, hunger in general. I mean, maybe drinking a Diet Coke might help you. Is it something you've tried? Chewing on ice, having a black coffee? I mean, those are the only things that I can talk about. I know me being inundated in my work, that almost always takes the hunger away, but that's just gonna be different for a lot of people. You'll have to keep me up to date, Bruce. Let me know if that gets better over time. I'm a little curious, but Bruce, thank you again for such a huge donation. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support as always. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Alina with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much. You didn't say anything, Alina, but thank you. Thank you for the $2. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let me go ahead and scroll up. Guys, I'm probably only going to answer a couple more questions because we're 2+ hours in, and like sometimes it takes a lot out of me. I also have coaching tomorrow morning. So yeah. Mrs. Bernard, I'm just scrolling up here. I'm just seeing anyone that has a question. Can you please address mineral intake during fasting? I don't take any minerals. I don't take any electrolytes. I don't take any supplements. So just FYI, you might want to check other YouTube channels about taking certain things. I don't take anything. When I was doing my 90-hour fasts, when I'm doing my 65-hour fast that I'm at right now, I take nothing at all. No minerals, no electrolytes, no supplements. I experienced a bit of health issues due to lack thereof. Yeah, you might want to check with other people. Chat, is there anything that you can help with? People in the comments later, if you watch this, is there something you can help with this question? Well, when it comes to mineral intake, this is Bernard. I'm so sorry. I wish I could give you more answers here, but I literally water, black coffee, unsweetened tea, the occasional Diet Coke. That's about all I'm taking. So thank you for the question, though. I appreciate it. Scrolling up. Okay. Sorry, everyone. I would talk more, but like I'm looking for anything with a question. Also, I don't know how far to scroll up for. This isn't a question, but because I know a lot of people keep talking about loose skin. Gorge, am I saying this right? George. Loose skin, it doesn't matter. It'll go away, Jerome. I lost 80 pounds and don't have any loose skin anymore. I would love for that to happen. I'm going to give it time. I'm going to give it a year. I'm going to try. I don't want to say I'm going to try. I'm going to keep this weight off for a year. And a year from when I hit this weight, which was March 22nd, I believe. So March 22nd, 2025, I would love to see if this loose skin right here got any better, right? The loose skin I have on my upper arms and my lower belly, but yeah, we'll see. Oh, did someone super chat? Z with a $5 super chat. Z, thank you for the support. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Congrats. I asked this a while ago, but has anyone at the gym still not said anything in regards to your um no. You know what's really interesting? I feel like no one has really commented on my weight loss to places that I go to regularly. And I don't know if it's because it happened so quickly or because they think maybe something's wrong. So, and you know what the funny thing is? Sometimes when I go to places that I keep going to regularly and people see me, in my head, I'm like, do they think I'm like taking Ozempic? Do they think I got weight loss surgery? Because also, by the way, everyone, like I've never taken any kind of Ozempic or whatever it is. I see it in the comments all the time. A lot of people think, or they make some like joke that like, oh yeah, like how's that Ozempic working for you? Or, people think I've had gastric bypass or whatever. I don't know what it's called. And again, I've taken none of those things. I don't take any diet pills, if diet pills are still a thing. But yeah, no one said anything to me. But Z, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Oh, guys, one day at a time, MJ, with $100 super chat. Geez, one day at a time, MJ. Thank you so much for the generous donation. Thank you for the $100 super chat. You guys are ridiculous and incredible and amazing and supportive. And thank you so much. One day at a time, MJ says, thanks for sharing your experience. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the support. Would love to have a place to chat with the Finally Fasting community unity. I'm working on that one day at a time, MJ. If this $100 donation means that you're trying to say, Jerome, get on that, okay, let me get on that. I would love a place for us to do this as well. So let me get on that. Let me try to make that a priority this week. So thank you again for the $100 donation, guys. If I get this out this week, you have to thank One Day at a Time MJ for the huge donation. Thank you for the support, One Day at a Time MJ. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. That's such a huge super chat. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, JM. Hi, JM. With a $2 super chat. Why not just lower your daily caloric intake to 1,000 or 1,500? Where do I start here? JM, I don't know if you're familiar with my channel. I feel like I've seen you before, but number one, why wouldn't I lower my daily caloric intake to 1,000? First of all, I have an eating disorder, and if you're new to my channel, when I refeed, I eat anywhere between 4 and 6,000 calories per refeed. So if your response to that is, well, then why don't you eat lower? And my counter to that is, I can't, because I have a hard time with portion control. And then if your answer is, well, why can't you still do it? Then my answer to you is, stop asking, because I can't. Number two, for me to eat at that low of a caloric level, I feel like would be more of a detriment. I think when you lower your calories to that extent and eat at such a low caloric level, number one, I think that messes with your metabolism. Your body just won't function the same way because you're feeding it less. But two, I also think that is just not a very enjoyable way to live. And for me, I would rather fast an entire day than eat 1,000 calories in a day. But that's just me. If that works for you, go for it. But I say all of this to say that it works different for everyone. And I'm not knocking people who eat 1,000 calories a day or 1,500 calories a day, but I also walk 5-6 miles a day. I also go lift weights at the gym. And I know that my TDEE, which is like the amount of calories I burn per day, even though I'm only 5'3" and weigh 140 pounds, I think is probably somewhere in the 2,500 calorie range. So for me, even if I was going to just eat every day, I think it would be around 2,500 calories, maybe 2,200 like on the lower end of it, but that's kind of how I feel about that. But JM, thank you though for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Here's a question that I see quite often, but I haven't seen anyone ask in a minute. Megaka says, "How is the bowel movements during fasting?" I don't really have bowel movements when I fast. Sometimes I do, but for the most time, for most of the time, I don't. I usually have bowel movements the day after a refeed or the evening after a refeed. But for the most part, I don't really have bowel movements after a day or so. Thank you, though, Mega, for the question. Vicky, hi, Vicky. Jerome, could you maybe have a fasting challenge for 30 days or so? I wish I had known you in November and started with you then. When you say a fasting challenge for 30 days, do you mean like we incorporate fasts and we all fast together? Is this what you guys want? Especially now that I'm doing shorter fasts, do you guys want to fast at the same time together? That's also going to mean that you're going to eat as late as I do, and I don't think you guys want to do that. A lot of you probably live in different time zones too. It doesn't mean that we can't do it. Maybe what we'll do is I can tell you the days that I'm fasting, and we can do it that way. And maybe I'll make community posts, or I can get the community thing up and we can just start doing that. But if that's what you guys want, if you want to fast with me, because remember, even though I'm at my goal weight, it doesn't mean I stop fasting. I'm always going to be doing at least 42-hour fasts. Maybe I'll do OMAD one day, but for the indefinite future, I think 42-hour fasts are going to be my minimum. If I were to do fasting challenges with you guys, would you guys want to do 42-hour fasts? Would you want to do 65-hour fasts? Because I can let you know when I start doing them and we can do them together. Like the moment I post it, I could be like, okay, guys, if you're in, you have, I don't know, 8 hours to respond and let me know if you're in. And then I can hold people accountable. And like, I don't know. Maybe that's what I should do with people on Wednesdays for my autophagy members only live stream too. I don't know. Maybe we could do something. There are a lot of things we can do. I got to figure it out. But Vicky, that's a good suggestion though. That's a good suggestion. Okay, I am scrolling up just to see. Alina, hi Alina. I'm a volume eater who can't portion control. A 5-2 fast means I maintain my weight. How can I get down to OMAD but still maintain my weight? Alina, I'm going to give you the honest truth. If you say you're a volume eater who can't portion control, and then you're asking how you can get down to OMAD but still maintain your weight, that's going to be impossible unless you portion control. Or if you're an athlete who's probably burning 6,000 calories a day or whatever, but the truth of the matter is, if you can't control how much you're eating in a day and you want to do OMAD, you're not going to be able to do it. Like you have to figure the diet part out. You have to figure out portion control. I mean, this is coming from someone who also is in the same boat as you are. Here's this boat. Here is you, Alina, and I'm in here with you. I am not doing OMAD because I can't portion control. I'm in the same boat. That's why I'm doing 65-hour fast still. That's why I'm talking about doing an alternate day fast, because that's what I can do right now. It doesn't mean that I can't eventually get into this boat here, which is the OMAD boat. But until I can figure out the portion control thing, I'll never be in that boat. And that's just me being honest. I am eventually and still continually trying to figure out my plan when it comes to eating better and portioning how much I eat. And I think I'm slowly getting there, but I'm nowhere close to being in that OMAD boat right now. I can't believe I just coined the term OMAD boat. You know what? I should make emojis for that. Also, again, remember, if you just came in late, if you are part of the Finally Fasting YouTube membership, I did make an emoji. I made a don't wait till Monday emoji. I don't know how that comes out in chat, but if you are a member, you should have that available for you to use. So feel free to use that in chat. I will start making other emojis, but now it makes me think I need to make an OMAD boat. Like, are you in the OMAD boat or the alternate day fasting boat? Or okay, it's getting late, guys. I'm probably talking way too much at this point. Let me see if there are some other questions before I kind of wrap things up here, guys. I think that might be it. Okay. Oh, Kim has a question. Also, I'm going to say this right now. Final questions at the bottom. Final questions. Ask them right now because after this, I'm going to scroll right to the bottom. So ask your final questions at this point. Kim says, how do you handle the hunger? Kim, I've talked about this many times. There are so many ways to handle the hunger. Keeping busy, drinking black coffee, drinking unsweetened tea, maybe taking your electrolytes, chewing on ice. Sometimes I watch people eat on YouTube, and that's helpful for me. Some of these things I might be saying are triggers, though, to do the opposite. So you got to see what works for you. I have made many videos when it comes to this, though. To keep going, a lot of it is discipline. A lot of it is willpower. A lot of it is looking at what your goals are and realizing you got to hit those goals. Sometimes you need community. Sometimes you need accountability. That's also why I offer coaching. Sometimes you need somebody to be looking over your shoulder. I give people a spreadsheet to fill out so that anytime they stop their fasting, they have to document that. So then I can have a conversation and be like, well, what happened here? How can we get better? How can we make this fast last longer? What can we do? Are you showing enough accountability? Do you need more motivation? It's that kind of thing. There are so many ways around it. But yeah, hopefully that's helpful, Kim. Okay, I'm scrolling to the very bottom, everyone, just to like get through this because we're about to wrap things up here. Did I miss? I did miss something. Yo, it's crazy with the $2 super chat. Yo, it's crazy. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the super chat. Huge inspiration for me, bro. I mean, I'm thankful that I can be an inspiration for you. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the donation. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, scrolling back down, making sure I don't miss anything. Than with a 99, is it Typebot? Is that what it's called? I forgot again. But Than, thank you again for another donation with a super sticker. I can't see what that looks like right now, but I'll take a look at this later after the stream. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you again. Thank you so much. Okay, scrolling down. Okay, final questions, guys. I'm just going to start from the bottom up here. If you eat 5K in one sitting, are you saying 1K every day for 5 days is different? Yeah, because there's something called being full and feeling satiated. So obviously the math, yes, in math terms is different, right? 5K in one day versus 5K in 5 days, yeah, it equals out the same. But think about this too. I like to put space in between when I eat. So if I'm eating 1,000 calories every day, that means all I'm doing is spiking my insulin up every day, spiking it up, spiking it up, spiking it up. My goal is to not keep spiking my insulin, especially as someone who's a type 2 diabetic. I'd rather keep my baseline insulin down or my baseline glucose, insulin sensitivity, whatever, right? I also don't find eating 1,000 calories satiating. I would not enjoy eating at a low calorie expenditure, daily intake is what I'm saying, right? So, yeah, no, I'm not saying it's different. I mean, yeah, obviously the math is 5 days, 5,000 calories at 1,000 calories a day or 5,000 calories in one. But like, if you gave me the choice, would I rather eat 1,000 calories for 5 days straight or eat 5,000 calories in one day? I would rather eat 5,000 calories in one day. I guess that's maybe that's what you're asking or you want to know, but yeah. Sherelle with a $10 super chat. Sherelle, thank you so much. Hey, Jerome, just wanted to stop by and say hi. Hi, Sherelle. It's always nice to see you. It's always nice to see you commenting. Due to my work schedule, I won't be able to make the lives now. Oh, on Wednesdays? Oh man, but I've been staying consistent with rolling fast thanks to you and this community. Sherelle, thank you so much for the donation. I'm bummed that you won't be able to make it on because this Wednesday I am live streaming. So anyone again who's in the autophagy YouTube membership level or whatever, I am doing a live stream this Wednesday, just FYI. But hi Sherelle, thank you again for the donation. I'm sorry you won't be able to make it because of your schedule. I don't know, maybe it's something I can ask the rest of chat too, or the Wednesday live streams if there's a different time that might be more available for you guys. Because I would rather do that if I can do that. Like it doesn't matter what time for me, as long as I'm available, I'll do it. So we'll see. We'll see. Sherelle, thank you for the support. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Okay, let me go ahead and scroll up. Mrs. Bernard, best times to reach you live. So I live stream every Sunday at around this time, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central is when I usually begin. So Sundays between 7 and 8 p.m. Central is usually when I'm live. I also go live on Wednesdays though, but you have to be part of the Finally Fasting YouTube membership, just FYI. Okay. Did I skip anything? Krish, any spiritual experiences from fasting? Has it improved your mental health? Fasting has improved my mental health. I don't know if I talk about spiritual experiences, but I will say fasting for me, because I fast, it has stopped me from using food as a way to solve my problems. Fasting has helped me to stop using food as a way to forget my problems. So a lot of the times, because I'm fasting, it means that I have to deal with my problems head on. It means that I have to deal with other issues, right? Like meaning that now that I can't use food to numb the pain, I sometimes find that I'm trying to find other ways to numb the pain. That I'm finding that I'm picking up other bad habits, which is making me learn and grow and understand myself better. That might not be the spiritual experience that you might be asking, but for me, I think that's profound growth. But that's me, and that's just me being honest with like how it's been for me. I know people talk about fasting and finding euphoria and finding just like this like clear mind, and I don't really feel like I have a lot of that, but I could be wrong, and maybe I'm just so used to fasting for as long as I have that I don't even really notice it in that regard anymore. Krish, thank you for the question, though. Thank you, thank you. Jerome, how can we get a hold of you for a consultation? Go to the link in my description. I put a link in my description to schedule time with me. So if you want to schedule time, you could do a free 15-minute consultation. Doesn't cost you anything because I just said it was free, but it is a one-time thing. So just FYI. But yeah, that's the quickest way to do it. Or if you want to schedule an actual coaching session, please feel free and take a look. So thanks for asking though. Thank you. Thank you. Net Nanny, I can't do longer fasts. How do I increase it? You have to build up to it. That's the truth. You have to have the discipline. Sometimes you have to ride out the hunger, but if you're only able to do 16, then maybe the next one you do is 16 and a half hours. Maybe the next one you do after that is 17 hours. Maybe you can't do that and then you have to lower it again, but you have to do it consistently. You have to do it over and over. And for me, honestly, I think that's the only way that you're actually going to build that muscle. Rebecca Powers says, is there a reason why you don't sleep the hours you prefer? Is it because of your busy day and lifestyle? It's a mix. There are some days I'm coaching now from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., which is a little ridiculous. And I have to give myself some boundaries. So sometimes if I'm coaching the entire day and I have very little breaks in between, then that means afterwards, I still want some time for me to like relax and unwind, but that's my own fault, literally my own fault. So I used to be so much better about sleep, but it was also because I had a much less taxing schedule. So that's also me making excuses. I really should just be better about my sleep. But Rebecca, nice to see you again. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the question. Debbie asks, has cutting Diet Coke helped you? So I think it has. I don't really see the positive, like, immediate results from it, but after I did my 90-hour fast and I didn't have any type of diet pop, the next fast I did, I drank it again because I went to a Bulls game and I didn't want to just drink water. I wanted to enjoy myself while I was there, even though I was fasting. So I had another Diet Coke, and then that kind of just was like, oh, I'll have another one the next day or whatever. But I'm gonna try to incorporate it again on my next fast, and then kind of see from there. Um, but it is something that I want to keep building up to so that I'm drinking much less of it. Actually, I also bought Zevia recently, and I haven't bought Zevia in forever. So I am trying to maybe even make that switch. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. I'm trying to do different things. I'm trying to, like, stop drinking pop during my fasts, and I'm trying to maybe drink something different like Zevia instead if I can't just remove pop completely during my fast. So again, trying to do better, trying to do better. Andrew says, have you worked hardcore, like 800 to 1200 calories burnt, and then not eat the same day? I'm pretty sure I have. Especially, there are some days where I walk 3 hours and have done it fasted, and not only walk 3 hours, but I've also went to the gym to lift weights, and I've also done photography shoots and have been active the entire day. I've done events, like event shoots where I'm shooting for 4 hours in the day, and I'm literally carrying like a 10 to 12 pound camera on me and posing every which way. So I'm pretty sure I have in the past. MM says, is it true about the heart attack because of fasting? MM channel, first of all, that study that came out is not even like journaled. I don't know what the exact words for it are. There are a lot of people who have talked about how bullshit that article is. It's not even something I think about. I wouldn't put too much thought into it. It's not an official journal. It's not, it's some like random like non-scientific way of going about it, but it's not even worth my time, honestly. Okay, I think that might be it. Okay, maybe I'll go through one more question if I didn't miss anything. Nope, I think I'm good. Okay, this is 2.5 hours, everyone. 2.5 hours. So I think this might be it. Guys, I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to thank you for all the super chats. I want to thank you for being on this journey with me for the last 147 days. I want to thank you for being on this maintenance journey with me for the last 10 days. It's a never ending journey, and I'm learning about myself more and more every day. And I just want to share that even though I hit my goal weight, this is something that's going to be important for all of you who are watching this. If I didn't go on this journey for 147 days, sure, weight loss, great, love it. Sure, better health, all of that's great. But the thing is, this journey that I've been on, I've learned so much more about myself. I've learned so much about what I'm capable of. I've learned so much more mentally. I've learned so much more about being kind to myself and valuing myself and knowing my worth. And I say this because for a lot of you who keep starting and restarting and giving up and leaving, and I'm sure there are some of you who probably even leave my channel because you don't want to hear me. You don't want to hear me talk about not waiting until Monday, but eventually come back. You're not going to learn about your experience. You're not going to learn and pick up this growth without doing this over and over and over again. Try to keep that consistency going. Try to understand the value of what you're doing is more than just weight loss. What you're doing right now is building a healthier and happier you. What you're doing right now is contributing to your health, prioritizing your health, making sure that you are healthy enough to not only take care of yourself, but to take care of the people around you, to take care of your business needs, to take care of your financial success, whatever it might be. Your health comes first. It comes before anything else. You can't take care of anything else without taking care of yourself. Sure, you could take care of things for now, but once your health comes and takes whatever away from you because you haven't been taking care of it, what are you going to do then? I think that's all I have. I say this all the time. Don't let the weight on the scale determine your worth, determine your actions. Don't let the weight on the scale devalue you. Know your worth, respect yourself, accept yourself, love yourself. Remember, you are not the only one fasting. You're not alone. There's someone doing it with you. I'm almost 45 hours in. Yes, I'm breaking tomorrow because I'm no longer doing 90s, but I'm still fasting with you. I'm still here with you. You're not alone. I have been doing this for 5+ months at this point, and I have no signs of slowing down. I plan to keep this weight off for as long as I can, if not forever. I want to be the healthiest and happiest I can be. That's all I got. I also have to add the outro. So I'm going to do that right now. Again, thank you all so much for being here. I am about to call it for the evening, and I will see you in a couple days. So this is my bye, and here is the outro. Is it coming in? It's coming in, and it should be playing music. So that's my cue to leave. Bye, everyone.